So lately, I've been feeling this pressure to appear a certain way on social media, on YouTube, on pretty much anything where I display myself, my solutions, and all that stuff. But I've been feeling like it's not a really honest approach when I post things according to that pressure. It's almost as if like you have to appear extremely competent, extremely like happy, like you know what you're doing with your life all the time. Like from day to day, everything is great, and like you have the solutions to all the problems that come up in your life. But there's just so much for me personally that feels that I don't want to do that. That's not true for me because from day to day, there are just a lot of things that I struggle with and a lot of things that I just feel that I'm not competent with, that I feel unhappy about. And I feel like there's just, for me, that pressure not to show that. And I think lately I want to take away that pressure. I want to just drop appearances and show the day-to-day struggles and just talk about it and express it. So that's essentially what this whole video series is going to kick off, is just daily talks with the camera about certain topics that I feel are important to me, important to what's going on in my life, in like just perhaps even the grander scheme of things in the world that is daily, and not just like the solutions that I discover or the things that I'm good at and showing that and making myself appear like this person that I'm not really. So and I do think that it makes sense that people do that, because when you showcase things on YouTube, when you showcase yourself to the world, you want to appear like you know what you're doing and that you're happy, because it's just like a sort of primal instinct. If you see someone posting about like sad things all the time or just things that aren't great, it makes you think less of them. It makes you think, or not all the time less of them, but it could also make you think like, oh, this person needs help, like you want to help them and all that stuff. But unless they're asking for help directly, like, you know, they don't necessarily need that. Pity, that's the word I'm looking for. It makes you pity them. And I don't think that's what I'm looking for. It's more so just expression. It's about the freedom to just talk about what you want and just be yourself without needing that sort of mask. And that's what I'm moving towards. But I do want to mention, like, there are things on YouTube that I've been seeing lately a lot. Titles, mostly in the self-improvement category. Titles like, you know, The Cure to Loneliness, The Art of Loneliness. That's actually a video idea I feel like I've thought about making, because at certain points in my life, I've been a bit more lonely in the sense that I don't really talk to as many people from day to day. Like, I still hang out with friends on weekends or whatever, but there are just certain periods of time back then that I would just be by myself a lot. But I felt happy still. So I thought, oh, I have mastered the art of loneliness. But in reality, it's not really me mastering the art of loneliness. It's just me feeling okay and fine with it. Because personally, to me, loneliness is, at least for me, because I do have good friends, loneliness is more so of a choice. I feel like if I wanted to reach out to my friends, they would respond and we could go hang out and talk and all that stuff. So for me, loneliness is more of a choice, and I know not everyone has that. So for me to make a video about, oh, the art of loneliness, it's kind of dishonest almost. It's kind of like me showcasing my situation and my mental state and saying, oh, you know, you can still feel good if you're lonely, blah, blah, blah. But then if I don't mention the part where I have that option to just go to someone that cares about me and that I care about and not feel lonely, that to me is not everyone, that's not the solution. Like, that would be sort of glamorizing loneliness, you know? And that's not what I want to do. So that's just one sort of thing that made me move towards this direction instead, to show more of the day-to-day struggle and the day-to-day answers. Like, perhaps one day of you feeling a certain way and feeling better about it, that solution may not work a different day. So that's just something that I've been thinking a lot about lately, especially since I came from a place where in 2018, I started a channel called Dreamlit, where most of it is based on self-improvement. And in that journey that I had, I read a lot of self-improvement books, and I feel like I was almost brainwashed by the ideas of those books. I adopted pretty much most of what they said was the right way to think. And now, about 2 years ago, I just dropped all of it. Not because they were bad. There are certain things that I truly believe were great advice, but it's more so that I want to figure things out for myself based on my own experiences. So I started this personal creed, a list of oaths or just things that I live by. And one of them, which instigated me starting this video series, is I will act on my desire. I will act on my desire despite fear, hesitation, or doubt. And I feel like for me, that's more powerful because there were a lot of moments in my life where I always doubted, like, should I do something? Should I say what I want to say right now? Is it gonna hurt their feelings? Is it gonna sound weird? Should I, like, oh, that person right there is walking and there's like, they're not paying attention and there's this thing that they could walk into. Like, should I run up to them and stop them from hitting that thing? Like that sort of thought that I have, or for instance, like a friend where they put their drink in a movie theater on top of like this area where they can knock it over. Should I say something? Should I move it? And in that instance, I didn't, and she totally knocked it over and it spilled everywhere. But I feel like there have been a lot of instances where I do act on what I want and what I think is right. And whenever I do it, I feel good about it afterwards. And I feel like I helped someone that prevented like something where they got themselves hurt or something. So based on all of those experiences, I gathered up, like, I just thought about it and reflected. And I came up with this sort of oath that I want to live by, that I will act on my desire despite fear, doubt, or hesitation. And that's just something that's more personal to me because I can draw on personal experiences and things that have happened in my life. This one, it's a bit looser because some other oaths that I've came up with are directly tied to specific events that made me feel very, very strongly emotionally. But this one's more so just like a lot of different smaller events that made me feel something that helped me come to it, basically. And I think part of me definitely is inspired by Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archive because they also have main characters that say oaths, and I feel like whenever I listen to that book or read that book, whenever the main characters are saying those oaths, it's based off of like these very, very strong emotions during events that are very like impactful for them. So it's sort of like doing the same thing, but in real life. So definitely inspired by that. But I think it's more effective than just adopting all these principles and ideas from things that other people say. Like, you're basically basing all of your beliefs and thoughts on what they're saying and not what you are experiencing and doing. So for me, I'm trying my best to move towards creating content that's more so specific to myself and giving more detail and giving more context behind everything that I'm saying instead of just giving overgeneralized advice. And I really, really believe that overgeneralization is the worst crime you can commit to critical thought, because I just think there's just so many things out there that are overgeneralized and should be looked into on a more case-to-case basis. And that is essentially what I would try to do with these daily vlogs and daily sort of discussions with you guys and for myself. And I'd like to end these discussions with sort of just talking about like the day-to-day, daily reflections or what I'm gonna do, talking about goals and all that stuff, because I do feel like lately my weekly goal system has not really been working that well. So I really believe in doing something every day, like a habit, doing something every day and changing your life that way. Because I think that's just the best way that I've discovered that helps is just forming a daily routine or daily sort of action. And weekly is good, it's better than nothing, but daily is better. Sort of like practicing piano, practicing anything basically. I've noticed when I practice every day, I improve much faster than when I practice every other day. So it's just that, basically, as simple as that. And I don't want to say like every generalized statement is a bad thing. It's more so just the overgeneralized ones that are obviously untrue. Whenever I hear it, I have to mention again, it's like acting on my desires. I just have to tell them that I feel like what they're saying is slightly untrue. But yeah, so let's just do that. Let's end the video with me talking about what my goals are for today. It's gonna be number one, music. That's my priority right now, it's just music. So I'm going to go ahead and release my second music track, my second original music track. It's called Morning Glow. It was inspired by a friend, and that's the goal for today, is just to release it. I've pretty much finished mastering it 2 days ago, and I'm gonna do one more listen, polish it one more time, and then just release it. And then I'm gonna practice some Japanese with a friend from Japan. That's my second priority because I am gonna go to Japan pretty soon, and I need to get on that and prepare. So I think for now, having 2 is good enough. I would love to have you guys comment if you managed to watch all the way through for this video about just what your goals are and what you want to do. I'm hoping, my vision for this is to eventually have like, sort of like a accountability system where I talk about the things at the end of the videos, like of what I did on a daily basis, like a daily reflection basically. And I'm opening up the space for others to do the same thing. And eventually we can just sort of like grow together in a way. So let's see how this goes. I will try my best to be as consistent as possible with this. And I think it's gonna be easier than doing something weekly because it's daily. It's almost counterintuitive, but I feel like it's true. All right, that's about it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.